Welcome back to the Basketball Operations Podcast, episode number 13. Lucky 13.
13.
13. You're practicing your Spanish?
Practicing Spanish.
Practicing your Spanish. Well, I mean, that's what Kobe did to trash talk his opponents. So, if you can get that Spanish up, you'll be on Kobe's level. So yeah, today we're going to talk about the Atlantic Division GM overview. This one has a lot of good teams as well. I think all of these teams last year, except the Raptors, were playoff teams last year.
So 4 out of the 5 teams.
Yeah, so 4. Yeah, which is so this is a good division. Yeah. Really good division, and it's going to be a tight division as well because you have a lot of. It's going to be the same 4 or 5 teams, but you just had a lot of movement with them. But at the end of the day, they kind of stayed the same.
Yeah. The actual core pieces.
The core pieces stayed. And so, if you're not aware, the Atlantic Division has the Nets, the Sixers, the Knicks, the Raptors, and the Boston Celtics, and that's what we'll be covering in that order this time around. So, let's get to it. So, first team. Brooklyn Nets. So yeah, this is the depth chart that you guys are used to.
Can I just make my bold prediction? Go ahead. They're going to be the best in the East next year. Is that
right?
I mean, right? Just looking at the lineup.
Yeah, look at this lineup. Kyrie Irving at point guard, obviously. James Harden at shooting guard. Joe Harris at 3. KD at the 4, and Claxton at the 5. I put Claxton at the 5 because I don't know. I think Blake will start at the 5, situationally, depending.
I think they're going to give Blake minutes at the 5 starting.
Starting?
Yeah.
I put LaMarcus at the end because I know they're going to take him not so serious. He has the heart condition. They all know that. So it depends on his health as to whether he's able to get the minutes in the first place. I don't know if Steve Nash is going to be like, yeah, we're gonna put you out here after just come back from a heart condition. So
that's true. I think he's gonna play more of the 4.
Yeah, and he'll play the 4. So yeah, I mean this is the core from what they had last time. The only difference is now they've added Patty Mills, which is incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible that they kept the main pieces, and if anything got better from last year.
The benching is crazy.
That benching is crazy. I mean, they were first in offensive rating, and they were 7th in net rating.
I hope so.
Last year, and they were 2nd in points per game at 118.6, but were last in opponent points per game at 114. So again,
score a lot.
Yeah. So again, the name of the game for this team, the way they play, is just we're gonna outscore people. If we get over 120 points a game, we're winning this game. It doesn't matter.
Just looking at the way the roster is constructed,
it's just
their guard, Kyrie, Patty scores. Yeah. Cam Thomas they drafted score. Harden, he's gonna be taking on the PG role more, facilitating. Joe Harris, elite shooter.
Yeah.
Bruce Brown, offense is still kind of raw, but he plays that small ball 4 or 5. KD is going to be KD.
Right. Yeah. And so, basically what they did this time around, or, how the roster is constructed, is basically you just have scorers, and then you have huge guys that can defend that are just big bodies in the paint or in the perimeter. So
the switchability on there.
Yeah, so again, the same thing. He scores all around from Kyrie, James Harden, Joe Harris, KD, and Patty Mills and Cam Thomas. And then if you look at the other guys, these guys are all above 6'5" and have a really good frame. Yeah. Bruce Brown, played power forward at one point. Sekou Doumbouya, they just traded for him 2 days ago.
I don't think he's playing.
You don't think he's playing? I think he's playing.
He's going to have the Alize Johnson role.
Alize Johnson. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Who knows? That kind of, when I saw the trade, it kind of sucked for me because I wanted to see his development, and I thought they would keep him over there with Cade because
this just stuffs him down even farther down the depth chart.
Right, because now if he stayed in Detroit when we did the Detroit overview,
he was gonna get some heavy.
He was gonna get he was starting for us, I think. So And we thought it was a good complimentary piece for Cade, considering that it's again a big guy that will this coming year be able to shoot the three. But
I wanted to see if he was going to be able to add that, because he was at about 20% these last 2 years.
Yeah. So I don't know if Detroit just saw him just like
they did it because Brooklyn added 4 second-round picks.
Right.
So they probably saw maybe
they saw the picks.
They're like, this guy, his development path, it's not where we wanted to be at this point, because he was like a lottery pick.
Right.
So maybe they saw the 4 second-round picks like, hey, maybe we could hit on something with those later on.
Yeah, and it's I don't know from the who knows what they were thinking, but like from the trade itself, to give away a lottery pick that you picked, I think it was 2 years ago, to get back a buyout player in DeAndre Jordan who was never gonna play there.
Yeah.
And
that saved them a lot of money.
It saved them a lot of money, but like, who knows how it'll work out, because like.
No, I saved Brooklyn a lot of money.
Oh, that's right. They helped Brooklyn with the money situation, so I don't get it. I didn't understand it. I was very shocked, and I saw Crispy Flick's reaction to it, and I got so angry with him too, watching him like react to it, because it just didn't make any sense to me at all. So we'll see, but it's hard to go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, Dumbuya, he's not gonna have like a role in the offense.
No,
but as a defender, he's just another big wing that's gonna help this team in the playoffs, regular season. He's gonna be playing rotational minutes. And then he could learn a lot from Paul Millsap, who's
Paul Millsap,
pretty stout defender at that position.
And it'll be funny because like this is the first trade where I looked at it and just like, how can somebody like it was clearly a one-sided trade towards the Nets side, but like not because they got Sekou, but because of the money situation.
Yeah, how much they saved.
How much they saved, and then now they can go into next year with LaMarcus after getting that 1 year, Paul Millsap after getting that 1 year, James Johnson's on a 1 year, I believe, too. Blake Griffin's on a 1 year, too. I think DeAndre Bembry's on a 1 year as well. So, like, you got 5 guys leaving next year just to add more pieces to this team.
I don't know how they got Patty Mills. They got him, like, on a 2 year, like, $7 million, something.
Yeah, so, like, Brooklyn won that trade just because of the money. Like, even it doesn't matter if Sekou doesn't play. Yeah. But again, it'll just add more depth to this team.
We'll see Sekou dancing on the bench this year. So
yeah, and like the ability for him as well, or like the ability of this team to run multiple different lineups, is very scary. Like you can, again, like the 5 is their interchangeable spot, I believe. Yeah. Like the 5, I think if you look at. Let me see. I think if you look at their who like what positions they have like in like the positions, I think the most interchangeable spot, like the percentage of like the most change probably is the center and power forward, I believe, because they have they like running that small ball 5.
Yeah.
So I think there have been more like different starters at those positions, because like again you can run KD at the 5. Like they were just ridiculous.
This is the most fluid lineup in the league.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be like the modern what you want to build your lineup. Like there's no more bruiser type centers.
No.
Nick Claxton is not a bruiser, but
he'll just go there.
But he's still a good defender, vertical threat, switches onto guards. And then everywhere else 1 through 4 is
just ridiculous. Joe Harris kind of sold. We'll see how he does in the playoffs. Yeah. He kind of sold.
Yeah.
But again, like it just goes back
scary.
To like.
If I'm a Laker fan, I'm scared.
It's scary, right? Yeah. Like James Harden said, if they were healthy, y'all know what happened, and I think it's very true. But like not to take, we're Giannis stands over here, but like not. It's just okay if this team was healthy. And if Kyrie doesn't take hiatuses anymore, then this team is.
I mean, I just have a hard time like seeing another team at full strength stopping this team at full strength. Like it's. Harden turned himself into like one of the best facilitators, and you still got to guard him because he's still a lethal scorer.
Yeah.
Which is so hard to guard, and then you got to account for Kyrie Irving, and then that's not even accounting for the best scorer in the league right now, Kevin Durant.
Right.
It's just. If they stay healthy, do you think they could win? Do you think they could beat Golden State's record?
A set of 73-9.
Like if say because I know Kyrie, he's gonna miss some time.
Oh yeah,
he always does. Maybe Harden's hammy starts to pull up a little.
I don't know. That's the thing. That is always health.
What if KD says, hey, he wants to be petty and get back to Golden State. Hey, let's beat that record, and then go out and win 75 games.
Jesus,
It's 2021.
Yeah, 73-9. I mean, they again led the league in points per game.
Pretty easily, and that's with a lot of these guys missing time.
Yeah, pretty easily. Like, they had... Let's see, what was their highest scoring game? I think their highest scoring game was...
I have a feeling Brooklyn's going to come out the gate and win, their first 12.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, so let's start looking at their schedule. So, opening night, they play Milwaukee, and then the next day they play Philadelphia. So, those are two matchups that...
go either way, but
those two can go. They're gonna be good games. And it's the start of the season. It's always different.
Who knows Brooklyn with everyone healthy? They're like, hey,
yeah,
come out with a statement one. Hey, this is what would happen if we were healthy.
That is true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That'll be a really good game. That'll be a statement game. And then later, it's just kind of settling in. I mean, it's just for the first half, for the first 33 games, all the way up until Christmas, basically, they have 12 marquee matchups. So matchups that could probably give them some what's the word I'm looking for?
Trouble.
Some trouble. But overall, the first half is pretty. It's solid. It's not hard. It's not easy. I mean, they play Miami. I think. They play Miami once.
Or they can go a whole other way and just cruise the entire regular season.
Which I think that's what will happen. Because, at some point, even then, Kyrie's going to miss some time. Harden's going to load manage, but not load manage because he can always say his hammy hurts when it doesn't. And then KD is going to play.
They could afford that because of the star power they have and the guys in those roles. Say KD needs a rest. Paul Millsap ain't a bad piece if you still have Harden and Kyrie in your lineup.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. We saw the records last year where they were somehow better when it was just two of them instead of all three of them or something. And
they were still kind of all three of them they never really got a chance.
They only played 10 games, I think.
They never really got a chance to mesh together.
No.
So that's why it's still kind of a scary thought. Oh my God.
Yeah,
full strength. This might be the best team ever.
I know it's very scary. Again, you can always run ridiculous lineups. You do KD at the 5, Blake at the 4, and then you do KD at the 5, Paul Millsap at the 4,
Bruce Brown at the 3 with KD at the 5.
A lot of it just revolves around KD at the 5, pretty much. Defensive. Do you think the question is defense? Do you think they got better defensively? Or will they just we don't care?
Well, Patty Mills, he's not.
He's not a perimeter.
Cam Thomas ain't a defender. Javon Carter is not a defender.
Well, I mean,
they had Mike James last year. I mean, that didn't really.
Yeah, no.
Stop
but I mean, Bruce Brown kind of guarded the other team's best player.
DeAndre Memory. I mean, I don't know. They got Keesler Edwards, pretty big wing.
Yeah, I think they just asked. They brought DeAndre Bembry.
James Johnson's low-key a valuable piece.
Oh, yeah.
He's able to guard guards, and he's 6'8".
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a little bit with that when he was with the Mavs.
Mavs, yeah.
He'd be on this 2 for the other team.
Yeah, so basically, the Nets lost Jeff Green, but then added 2 more Jeff Greens.
Yeah, Millsap, James Johnson.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. It's all about 3-point shooting for them. Yeah. 3-point shooting
James
and
Johnson is not the 3-point shooter Jeff Green is. He's horrible.
No. Yeah, no. Well, if Paul Millsap and James Johnson combine, and they'll give you a good 5 attempts combined, and they hit 30% on the season combined, 35, then that's enough. But yeah, I mean again, we were saying last year they scored. Look at this score. Brooklyn 147.
And then was it Cleveland?
And then it was Oklahoma City 125. Yeah, they're giving up 125 points to Oklahoma City last year, who had Theo Maledon, Dort, basically Shai and Al Horford, and they gave up 125 points.
I mean,
so like
you definitely saw them like in the postseason. They definitely raised their intensity.
They raised the intensity. Yeah. And so I trust that that was again Steve Nash's doing, because like this is the thing about having crazy amount of talent on one team, is that like the coaches get taken for granted. It's like they just don't do anything. Like we've said it multiple times on the 73-9. It's like, I'll give me Steve Kerr's job and like we'll do the same thing. You
gotta realize Steve Nash is like one of the best basketball minds ever, like at the point guard position. So,
right.
I mean,
and it was a good first season. I thought it was a really good first season. I mean, there's nothing you can blame him for. Kyrie was out again. James Harden was out again. And it was just KD for the last 3 games.
There was still that question mark coming in, so you're like, is KD going to be healthy?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he proved that he's still that player he was before the injury, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of questions still need to be asked that, like, we can't really evaluate until probably, like, after this first half, 33 games. Like, by Christmas, I feel like by Christmas we should know what this team is. To which they should be like...
They're a top 3 seed guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
The floor's 3rd seed. The ceiling's the 1st seed. They should make it to the conference finals easily.
They should.
And if they don't, I mean, I think that...
If they don't, that's questions.
The season's a failure if they don't make it.
That's very worrying if they don't make it conference finals. If they don't make it to the finals, it's kind of a failure. There isn't a Eastern Conference team better than this team healthy. Like the Milwaukee Bucks team was a really, really, really good team.
Yeah.
But like if you put this Nets team against that Suns team, they're winning in 4 or 5.
I think they wiped the floor with them.
Yeah. So like, I think they're above a 50 win. They're above 50 wins for sure, because there's this like 2 month slate where they're going to be tested for sure going into the end of the season. So starting on January 29th, they play Golden State, then they play Phoenix, then they play Sacramento, then they play Utah, then Denver, then Boston, and then Washington, Miami, Sacramento again, New York, Boston, Milwaukee, Toronto, Miami, Boston. So like the reason why I named teams like Sacramento and like Washington and the other Sacramento team is mainly because like usually when you play harder teams and then these teams
they take
like a mental break almost, like
off,
they take like a game off. So that's why like you see Phoenix, they play them February 1st and then they play Sacramento February 2nd. So that's a back-to-back that'll cause them to like maybe, the load management
is
thing.
Is Marvin Bagley stopping Kevin Durant?
No.
I don't think so.
No. So like, but like, I don't know. We'll see. It's just that 2 months is a really hard slate of games. Mm-hmm. So again, we'll see how they handle it.
I think they easily win 65.
Yeah, I think they can win 65.
Just like on paper, just what they have right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Again,
like you said, you got to take into account like the back-to-backs.
Yeah. By Christmas, we should know what this team is about. And if they're like 32-1 in the first 33 games, then like,
oh my god,
they're beating the Golden State Warriors record. I mean, I feel like they have a chance. They definitely have a chance.
I think that to be on pace, they'd only be able to lose like 4 games first half of the season. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, maybe, but
you never know.
That Golden State team run was different.
Yeah, weirder things have happened. This team on paper, and I mean the question always asked. Do you think this roster is better than the Lakers?
I think it is.
I think it is too. Like we kind of, I mean, like looking at the Lakers.
I mean, they kind of went about building in the same way.
They did too. But the thing is, the Lakers. Why I favor this team over the Lakers is because they're both quote unquote retirement homes. Like they both have a lot of old guys in the 4 and the 5 spots, which the Lakers do as well.
A lot younger. They're big threes.
But their big three is like younger, and I think that's the difference. The big three is younger, and I feel like these pieces complement them better than the newer pieces complement the Lakers, because like
Patty Mills is such a good fit.
It's such a good fit. And, like, even to this day, like, you added a big three like Westbrook into that, and even like to this day, I still don't know how it'll work.
Who would you have, Malik Monk or Patty Mills?
Oh, Patty Mills. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. We'll get to the Lakers when we get to that.
Paul Millsap or Trevor Ariza.
Trevor Ariza, honestly.
I think Paul Millsap still has something in him, bro.
Yeah, I think he still has something in him.
I just think he didn't play much because the Michael Porter Jr. Development.
Pushed him out. The rise of Michael Porter Jr.
And then watch LaMarcus Aldridge fuck around and average 15 on crazy efficiency.
Yeah, it's efficiency for these guys as well too. Like they don't shoot the ball erratically. Like they don't take bad shots because even though you look at these types of players and you think they take bad shots because they shoot a lot and they take a lot of shots, but Kyrie just had the quietest 50-40-90 last year and nobody's talking about it. And James Harden got better somehow, averaged almost 11, 12 assists, and then KD off a torn Achilles, still ridiculous. 50-40-92 I think.
I don't think so.
Or close,
close.
Very close. On what is it? On what was 26 points per game on 53 from the field, 45 from 3, and 88 from the free throw line. That's what it was.
Yeah, so 2% off.
So 2% off from the free throw line.
That's just insane to think. You have two players that are 50-40-90 on one team.
Yeah, Kyrie played 54 games, shot 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 92% from the free throw line on 26 a night.
Jesus Christ.
And then James Harden, 24.5 points per game on 47% from the field, 36% from 3, 85% from the free throw line. So I think in the effective field goal percentage, they didn't have a player shoot under 40% on effective field goal percentage, which is crazy. The other players at the bottom is players who didn't even play.
Alize Johnson.
Yeah, Tyler Cook, Iman Shumpert, Andre Roberson, and remember when Iman Shumpert was on the fucking legs?
You did. They had that 1 week period where everyone was heard bring in Andre Roberson and Iman Shumpert. They didn't even last a week.
So they had players that did matter or that played real games. They all averaged over 40% from the field. It's not they shoot erratically. They take great shots. So, and they make them. And they led the league in points.
I wonder how much that has to do with D'Antoni, because he's gone this year. He was Nash's head assistant.
Oh, that's right.
Ain't no D'Antoni. Him in the offense.
Yeah.
Go hand in hand. So I don't know.
We'll see. I think Steve Nash learned enough. I think that was kind of more of a mentor year. I think that's mainly why they brought him. Yeah. And they also have Thiago Splitter. They have Amari Stoudemire. They have pretty good guys over there. A pretty good coaching staff. But that's the Nets. Please leave down in the comments. Before that, subscribe and then leave down in the comments what you think about this team. Because, again, the great debate is Nets versus Lakers. Do you think this Nets team is going to make the finals? And, yes, Laker media darling fans, you can leave your fantasies in the comments of,
Jesus.
What'll happen.
He's just taking it to him.
What'll happen. Okay, so next team. Oh, man. I knew this day was going to come when we had to talk about...
Is the process over?
The crumb bum Ben Simmons?
I don't know, man. All that tanking, and look where it's gotten in the last couple of years. I think this is it. I think this is finally the breaking point.
Yeah, this is the breaking point. Because, look, this is the same exact team as last year, except you just added Georges Niang and Andre Drummond.
We know the Ben Simmons trade rumors are out there, but theoretically, since he's on the team, this is what we're going for our depth chart. But there's a great chance he doesn't even start opening day. I don't think he's going to be there. Or he might just hold out a couple weeks. If I'm Ben Simmons, I would too. After our star player and our head coach publicly denounced me after one of the lowest moments of my life, I wouldn't want to be there neither. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. This is essentially the same team. And this is the breaking point. I don't see. He already publicly said he's not even going to training camp. And for him, like, because the thing is with Daryl Morey, GM, is that he, like, hates losing trades. Yeah. So, like,
he's always trying to finagle someone.
Yeah, so he thinks, like, Ben Simmons is, like, the perfect route for him to be, like, the greatest GM of all time. But I don't think it'll work. It's just, like, there's, like, two sides to this, and it's angering me because it's, like, Ben Simmons thinks he has leverage, but you don't. I shot more shots, like, of a paper towel into the trash can than he did in 7 fourth quarters. So, like, you don't have leverage. You played the worst you've ever played. Even Ben Simmons stands. I never liked Ben Simmons. I was never a Ben Simmons
I like
stan.
Ben Simmons.
I don't know.
I'll tell you right now after.
I was never a Ben Simmons stan, but mainly because of that. I knew that was going to happen at some point because the dude just can't... like, it doesn't matter. Like, even LeBron, I knew he needed a jump shot, and it happened in Miami, and he got 2 out of 3. He knew he needed it, and then now he's, like, getting older, and now he's shooting, I think, the best three-point shooting percentage he's ever had in his career, LeBron is. And, like, for you to only not even attempt one, or, like, attempt a minimal amount in the regular season, like, it just doesn't make any sense. And you're posting videos of you shooting threes, getting everyone excited before the season, and you're not doing it in the season. It doesn't make any sense. And then you have Daryl Morey, who technically does have leverage, but then he's, like, fucking himself because, like, you're asking for, like, Curry or Klay Thompson for Ben Simmons, and that's nowhere near his value.
Well, here's my side. I like Ben Simmons. I like his skill set. Obviously, the offense, right? That's the glaring thing. Like, he doesn't like shooting the ball for whatever reason. I think he's shooting with the wrong hand still.
Okay, but I do too.
I mean, every offseason, it's the same thing. Oh, Ben Simmons working with the trainer, shooting threes from everywhere, and it's going in.
Every time.
Season starts, nothing happens. But Ben Simmons' skill set is so unique. He's an all-NBA first-team defender, right? Guard 1 through 5. Like, he's...
Yeah.
Well, can we say he's a top 5 defender in the league right now?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the defense, yeah.
Yeah, like, just his 6'10", 6'11", being able to move like him, like, that's rare, right?
Yeah.
And then you add in him being a facilitator, which he does really well. I always thought, like, the Sixers were never the best fit for Ben Simmons. Just off his offense skill set. Like, if he added the jumper, maybe he'd help him. Because I never thought they'd go far with the way he plays. Ben Simmons is a center who can play point guard.
Right. Yeah.
So you put him on a team where he could run the 5, and that gives, like, kind of like a Bam, right?
Yeah.
He's a way better playmaker than Bam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he just needs to find that right fit, but... with him and Embiid, since Embiid is one of the premier centers in the league, it's kind of hard, you know? Yeah,
because Embiid works 5 feet out from the rim.
Yeah, so you got Ben Simmons who can't shoot, and you have him stuck in the dunker spot.
Yeah, like,
it's never gonna work. Like, you could try to add Seth Curry and Danny Green, but just the amount of shooting, great shooters, but it'll never work with Ben Simmons if he doesn't wanna. At least shoot. A mid range.
Yeah, just a mid range. Like, even I guarantee you. Just a mid-range would open up so many things. Like, just a mid-range. First of all, you're 6'10". You're 6'10", and when you jump, you're now, like, what? With a full arm extension, you're, like, 7'8" at like, peak jump. Like, 7'8", 7'10", probably. No one's contesting you.
I mean... He has the ability to be a great finisher too, but I mean, we saw what happened in the playoffs when he passed up the layup.
Passed the dunk. The dunk.
I've seen Ben Simmons dunk in traffic in a crowd before, but Trae Young is the one who just... I don't know what he saw. Maybe he thought he could make the better play to Batiste. I don't know.
Who knows what he saw?
But, like, my fantasy was always pairing him in Dallas. He could be our center.
Yeah.
Porzingis at the 4. And that'd be a heck of a lineup because I mean, he can catch.
You'd have to give up your entire roster.
Yeah, no, he could set picks, but like him playing the point guard, it's just I don't know.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Ideally, if you're a point guard, you have the ball in your hands 60-70% of the game, right? And you can't shoot the ball, you can't make a free throw, you're kind of hurting your team at that point.
Yeah, like
everything else about Ben Simmons' game I love.
Yeah, it's the difference of like what. Okay, Ben Simmons' ceiling, like everybody knew Ben Simmons' ceiling is LeBron. Like that's the name that you hear when you hear Ben Simmons' name.
Magic Johnson.
Or Magic Johnson, or something like that.
Guards, yeah.
But they all had a jump shot. So like, what'll make him the difference between him being LeBron and him just being like Dorian Finney-Smith with a ball hand?
Magic Johnson's jumper wasn't reliable, but like he punished defenders by putting them in the post. Mm-hmm. Ben Simmons doesn't do that.
He doesn't have a post.
It's just drive left, drive right.
Yeah, he doesn't even have post.
You're 6'10", my guy. You're faster than centers, and you're bigger than guards.
Yeah, it's just like you
should be able to exploit that and average at least 20-something a game, even without a jump shot.
We're here just asking for the bare minimum. Just bare minimum, like post game. Like Drew Holiday has a fucking post game.
Yeah, Ben Simmons added a drop step. Oh my goodness. Like, or a little baby hook.
He has the baby hook too. He has that like he comes off the side, he sneaks the screen, and then does that little thing. But like
we've seen how Jokic manipulates defenses out of the post.
He has to go. He has to go to a post coach or something, a post game coach or something.
He needs to get out of Philly. He needs to find a better fit for him. But I don't know. These playoffs really dampened the value.
It really did, and like for him. Like let's say he stays because Daryl Morey wants to finagle someone, so he stays. So he doesn't play the first 10 games, and like his trade value just goes down for every day that he's not traded. His trade value goes down.
It's just you're not gonna get
crazy.
You're not gonna get like a Dame Lillard.
Like at some point, Ben Simmons' trade value by the trade deadline would probably
James Harden. It was James Harden.
It was James Harden, and then now it's like maybe C.J. McCollum.
Like
maybe
a star, yeah.
Maybe. So and even then, like C.J. McCollum won't work in this roster.
I think he's played his last game as a Sixer.
He has, and it kind of sucks how the way it turned out too. It kind of sucks how like you saw like one of the like most like questionable plays ever in NBA history, and then like that'll be his last game.
So if they were to trade Ben Simmons, you have some trade packages because I mean,
yeah.
Philly's going to need a point guard. I don't know if they're going to try to package him and Tyrese Maxey because that would leave just Shake Milton as the only PG on the roster.
Yeah. There have been various talks of like something about Tyrese Maxey too, because the thing is like if you guys didn't know, Ben Simmons is clutch. Yeah. He's in clutch. So like you have 3 guys trying to get deals for themselves. You have Ben Simmons himself, you have Daryl Morey, and Clutch, and Rich Paul basically. And like Clutch owns the NBA, basically. Yeah. So like Clutch especially needs him to be somewhere where he'll be like in heaven basically. So again, it'll probably be a California team because that's where he said he wants to go besides Sacramento. Sorry, Yoshi. But
what do the Clippers have to offer?
Nothing.
The Lakers?
Nothing.
Everyone was on a minimum. I mean,
so it's just Golden State, and even then that's too high.
I mean, I'd give a Wiseman.
Yeah, I mean, one of these trades here was
Wiseman. Was it Wiseman Kuminga?
It was Wiseman, Wiggins. Or before this draft, it was Wiseman, Wiggins, and the 2 picks.
I would have done that if I was Philadelphia.
Right, but then now the picks have been set, and so it kind of changes your perspective a little bit from like a regular GM standpoint. It kind of changes the perspective that like, okay, those are the picks, and like then you have to see like how it works, because like, okay, let's say you do land Moses, like. It does work, but then to match salaries, you kind of have to give up Maxey anyway. So, like, does Shake become your point guard? And then you're now top-heavy with Shake, Moses, Seth, and Danny, and Matisse. So like it's just that's weird. So yeah, now one of these trades would be Simmons and Thibault for Wiggins, Wiseman, and Moody, and a pick.
I mean, that'd work because then Tyrese Maxey would be elevated to the starting point guard, which he has potential to be a good point guard.
Yeah.
You add another scorer, Andrew Wiggins, Wiseman's developmental piece, who I'd have behind Embiid over Drummond. I'd rather have Wiseman.
Yeah.
And who was it? Moses Moody?
Moses Moody.
Another shooter?
I don't know.
They give up Thibault, right?
They give up Thibault. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
kind of.
I don't know. That's the thing. Usually trade packages, when you hop on Trade Machine, they're usually a little easier than this.
Yeah.
This is like one of the hardest things that like.
Morey screwed himself by saying they had a package already for James Harden, so now he's just living with that. Oh, we could have had Harden.
Could have.
So, yeah, but no, you can't do that anymore. It's too late. Teams already seen that. Like he's acting like teams didn't see what happened in the postseason.
I know exactly, and so like, there are some trades that I think make sense because I feel like it'll benefit Ben Simmons to go into completely new territory, like a team that like
Minnesota,
Indiana, Sacramento.
They said Minnesota and Toronto are like the two teams that are like,
right,
like really like pursuing him, like that they're hitting up Daryl Morey. But the thing with Minnesota, they want to pair up Cat, D'Lo, and Ben.
Yeah.
But what do you have to give up that? That Philly wants a return.
Yeah, Minnesota doesn't. I don't know. Like Minnesota, it doesn't make sense. But like on the Philadelphia side, it makes sense. I don't know. It's really hard to see from both sides. Like, okay, we got this Pacers trade, which I like the most. Any trade that had Brogdon, I think made the most sense for me. Mm-hmm. So it's Simmons straight up for Brogdon and T.J. Warren for salary cap purposes.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll fit this team more because I like Brogdon a lot, and Brogdon is always consistent. He had a 50-40-90 splits his rookie year, and won Rookie of the Year. And so I like Brogdon because I feel like
he'd help this team.
But I think this will lead to a domino effect into where Simmons is gone. They'll look at Brogdon here, and then they'll see, okay, maybe Tobias Harris doesn't make any sense, or maybe Seth Curry doesn't make any sense.
No, Seth Curry's.
I mean, Seth Curry makes sense, but like Seth Curry has kind of been like, who knows? He could go back to Dallas. I'm like,
no, at the time I was happy about Josh Richardson, but now it's like, damn, we really give Seth Curry for nothing, and now look at him.
Yeah.
So, he's never leaving.
Yeah, I think the dominoes will fall to be like, okay, Ben Simmons, and then Tobias will probably fall too, because like I don't know if Brogdon.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get the Bosch tweet. Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris traded for like Dame Lillard.
That's a lot of money.
Because Portland wants to blow it up.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like there's a Spurs also makes sense. I don't know. Like Brogdon, DeJounte, De'Aaron, and I'd say like Colin Sexton are 4 guards that make sense for this team.
Yeah.
And if I were to choose one that will benefit this team, it'd probably be Brogdon or DeJounte. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. Who would you take? Because like,
I mean, DeJounte fits like identity. I mean, he's not the shooter that they need. Malcolm Brogdon probably. I mean, he's just steady. He shoots the ball well, gets to the rim well, facilitates well, and he fits with Joel Embiid.
Yeah, and then if you look at
and that you still have Tobias Harris as a secondary creator.
Yeah, and then if you look at let's say that trade goes through.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Pacers' point of view. We already covered the Pacers. So let's go over the depth chart
it's kind of tough for them too because
Sabonis and Miles Turner.
Yeah,
they're both operating in the paint. They can both shoot threes though, but as we've seen, Joel Embiid can shoot threes too. But it's not.
That's not his primary focus.
Yeah, so You have who's your point? Like TJ McConnell is your point guard now, and then Ben Simmons at the 3.
I think Ben Simmons slides in at your 1.
At your 1.
Yeah.
And then you have Karras and TJ Warren.
They don't know if TJ Warren's going to be back next year.
Oh yeah, that too. Like so then what is it? Oh, not even Edmund Sumner, rip.
Yeah.
And then the Pacers, that'll be weird. That'll be a different problem for the Pacers. But
I always thought that the one that made the most sense at the time was just Ben for CJ.
Yeah, that always makes sense to me. I was like, dude.
Portland gets their defender that they needed.
Uh-huh.
And the offense kind of fits Ben well. It's a spaced out 5-out style, minus Nurkic. Philadelphia gets a scorer. I mean, I obviously there'd be other pieces involved in the trade, but just those two as the foundation, a switch like that. I don't see why not.
Yeah, this is all Daryl Morey's fault because it's all timing. Because the timing of it is so bad to the point where it's value, timing, leverage, clutch. Ben Simmons himself, where all these factors are coming in, where it's just so hard because the timing of Portland, right? They don't know if they want to blow it up or not because Dame wants to stay, but they gave him 3 free agents and through trades that are so but that they don't even help him. He's getting so much pressure to leave Portland, and so. And before you had the perfect trade package for James Harden that would have taken you to the finals probably, and then you lost that. So then again, now it goes back to the timing of Portland doesn't make any sense because they're kind of rebuilding but kind of not, and then you have other teams who just re-signed their core pieces that now doesn't make any sense for them to go to Ben Simmons. The value of Ben Simmons, either they don't have enough because they want to keep a certain amount of players, and then Daryl Morey wants those players. So it's all just timing, and it's all fucked. And so that's why it's so hard. And at the end of the day, it's it's literally just Daryl Morey, who if that James Harden trade went down, we wouldn't have been doing any of this. And so and again. Clutch is also the main antagonist here.
Is Pat Bev still in Minnesota?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he loves it there.
So there is a way for Minnesota to do it and keep their core. They own all their picks, first-round picks for the next 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
They don't owe any teams. They have the most. I know they didn't have a pick last year, but they could theoretically offer the most first-round picks and the most pick swaps, whatever Daryl Morey wants. And then you're looking at a team with Anthony Edwards, D'Lo, Ben, and Cat. That's a pretty good core for a team. Because you're not going to get a free agent to go to Minnesota.
No.
Right? So, if you're Minnesota's GM, hey, this is our chance to, do something since the KG days.
Yeah.
And you get Ben Simmons.
And that's the thing and even then for Timber,
at that point, you got to take the chance if you're Minnesota. When is the chance ever going to rise a disgruntled star player?
That is true. And
hey, they might just say, screw it, hey, let's just give them these first. Let's see what we can build here.
Right.
All of our guys are young. Anthony Edwards just turned 20.
Yeah, but then you have to think of contracts too, because again, Ben Simmons is on a 33-4 year.
That's where you had a Pat Bev's contract.
Which is is it 32?
I know he got a big contract from the Clippers. I don't know exact numbers.
Holy shit.
But obviously they'd have to match.
Yeah, they have to match contracts. That's the thing. And I know Daryl Morey is gonna want either Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo. So that's the thing. It's gonna be hard. It's all timing. It's all timing and stuff. And there are some of these trades you look at it and it's it does make sense, but for sure there's a loser somewhere, and it's just hard. It's just really hard. But I think it's either one of those 4 teams: Timberwolves, the Spurs, the Kings, the Pacers. And that's it. I think those 4 teams probably make the most sense.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing a team. Oh, probably Toronto, maybe. But Toronto, again, I don't... You lost Cal...
And Malik Beasley has a big contract, too.
Malik Beasley... Oh, yeah, he does have a big contract. I don't know. We'll see. But I think 5 teams... Toronto's kind of an iffy, but I think 5 teams will probably be Ben Simmons' new home, which I think will be good for him because he wants to go to a contending team, but it just doesn't make any sense because, again, you just had a poor playoff performance. I don't think any other contending GMs are looking at you and saying, we're willing to take that chance again.
Ben Simmons is going to shock the world next year.
So if he's in Indiana, if he's in Minnesota, if he's in Sacramento, he can raise his value again. And we'll see if he wants to go somewhere because, wherever he goes, he's going to be under contract for the next 4 years, which he'll then be 30, I think, because he's, 25, 26 now? Or 24?
He's still young.
Yeah, I know he's still young, which is actually ridiculous, but...
Yeah, but he is. Where is his age? Why doesn't it show his age here?
I think he's 20 something. He's 24, right?
Doesn't show. Come on, Basketball Reference.
Fucking Basketball Reference.
Oh, he's 25.
25. Okay, so he'll be 29 when he's out of the contract. 29 to 30. So he's in his prime, and at that point, again, he can go wherever he wants, and we'll see where he is 4 years from now.
Who knows? He ends up in Minnesota. He loves it, and end up winning three trophies in a row.
3 trophies in a row. Like, we'll see. I don't know. The way the NBA. Oh shoot! Oops. The way the NBA goes, or is going in the direction. It's just that again, you just have to have a jump shot. So I hope like a new coaching staff, a new training staff, like, who's the I don't even know who the coach is for fucking Minnesota.
Chris Finch, I think.
Oh, Chris Finch. Chris Finch tells him, I don't give a... Just like, I'm pretty sure one of these coaches in these other teams are going to be like, I don't give a fuck. Just shoot.
Yeah, Chris
Just, I don't... We're losing. We're going to lose. Just shoot. We're not trying to win now. Just shoot. Just shoot. It's like, just shoot. Just think of it as a pickup game every game. Pretend you're in Chris Brickley's freaking... Or what was the one? The other one? That was like really famous like for one summer.
It doesn't help that his trainers are practicing defenders going over the screen on him. Like, it doesn't help. Don't give him that false sense of hope. Like, no one is going over on you, bro.
That shit killed me when I saw it.
Under the free throw line on the screen on you.
Yeah.
And I'll meet you when you drive into the paint on me.
That shit killed me when I saw the video because everybody on the comments was like, I'm not falling for it again. I'm not falling for it again.
Who's going over on Ben Simmons?
I don't.
If you go over on Ben Simmons, you're going to the bench.
Yeah.
You're on the bench.
That has to be a rule among these teams. If you go over Ben Simmons, you're not playing.
Yeah.
But like, just shoot. So like it'll make them. Oh, Rico Hines, that's what it was.
Yeah, like we don't need him to be like KD between your legs, pull up from 3. Like
No.
just a catch and shoot shooter. That's all we need from you. That's all we need, Ben.
Yeah. And even then, like he can show.
I mean, he killed Rudy Gobert. I had to bring it up.
Stop.
I had
So what? He has to play Rudy Gobert every night for him to show his potential.
I had to bring it up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, he scored 42 on the deep. Yeah, I still remember the number. He scored 42.
That was without Embiid, right?
It was without Embiid.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, it's just that Philly isn't the fit for him.
It's just not the fit.
I'm telling you, watch Ben. He's gonna have a career renaissance, and people are gonna think I'm crazy, but I think he's a good player, man. I think we just get caught up, like with Kuzma. We get caught up with like, damn, like yo, passed up a lay on Trae Young. Like we get caught up on that, but like when you like look back at his career, like he's a decent player. Solid player. I mean, we could say he's a star.
He's a star.
I mean, all-star, a couple years already, so.
Again, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, yeah, that was Philadelphia 76ers GM overview. Leave down in the comments if you think where you think Ben Simmons is going to go. Make sure to subscribe.
My money's on Minnesota, so.
If you think it's Minnesota, subscribe. If you think it's Indiana, subscribe. If you think it's any other team but the Sixers, subscribe. So yeah, leave down in the comments where you think he's gonna go. If any Philly fans are out there listening to us, who would you like back? Who would you like in return? And if you think it's Daryl Morey's fault that you guys didn't get James Harden. So yeah, next team. The New York Knicks. New York. I like this team. Look at this fucking team.
I just don't like how they overpaid for Fournier, but other than that, it's a nice team. Fournier got like $80 million, dude.
He did get overpaid a lot, but then at the same time, he kind of saved money with Kemba. Because, like, Kemba is on a 1 year.
That's crazy how fast Kemba's value fell.
Right?
I mean, I feel like being back home for him is going to improve his play.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He loves playing MSG. So, yeah. Kemba Walker at the 1, RJ Barrett at the 2, which...
my favorite player on this team is, like, not even, like, a star bench player. It's Jericho Sims.
Oh, yeah, Jericho Sims. Look at that. I got him all ahead.
Just watching his Summer League highlights is pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that dude can fly.
Yeah. I mean, I think this team got significantly better. Just off the fact you get Mitchell Robinson back. Mm-hmm. Kemba's here. Now D-Rose gets to run the bench unit, which he's been pretty successful at doing. Mm-hmm. Emmanuel quickly gets another year of development. Alec Burks is a solid wing. I don't know about Kevin Knox. I think he'll be top.
No, yeah.
And then Nerlens Noel was, oh man, he was a great rim protector and a vertical threat.
You have easily a 15-man. You have 3 units. Yeah, you have 3 good units.
Julius Randle, let's see how he builds off his all-star.
Just go right.
No, he forgot how to play basketball in the playoffs.
He did.
Who knows if that happens a second in a row.
So yeah, Evan Fournier at the 3, Julius Randle at the 4, and Mitchell Robinson at the 5, as we were saying. But yeah, we'll see. Like Miles was saying, we'll see as to how this works because again, in the playoffs, RJ Barrett and Julius Randle completely forgot to play basketball, and they forgot that they had a right hand. They did not want to go right for some reason. But again, with this team identity, they were very defense heavy, obviously with Tibbs at the helm.
Yeah.
They were first in opponents' points per game at 104, meaning they were the best defensive team. They had the third best defensive rating at 108.2, and it also helps that they had the lowest pace in the NBA last year at 95.9. So they kind of kill you with the grind. They kill you with defense.
Play slow.
They play very slow, play methodically, which is how Tibbs likes to run. And the good thing is that there was a question as to when Elfrid Payton went down or something, mm-hmm. and Derrick Rose had to play a lot of the minutes.
We saw that. I mean, Derrick Rose still has something.
He still has something.
Not the same player, but like...
Yeah, but like, you know how like Thibodeau likes to run these guys for like a long time?
Yeah.
Like, Julius Randle, I think, averaged the most minutes in the NBA last year.
He played like 38, 39 minutes a game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous for like even in a 72-game season. Yeah. So, for Derrick Rose, now he has Emmanuel Quigley, who's getting better. He now has Miles McBride and Quentin Grimes, who can both run the 2-guard spot. And I don't know. I really like this. I really like this team. It's very balanced. It's very like you can run a lot of lineups. I mean, the Kemba thing, we'll see how it works. And Fournier kind of had an off season last year with the Celtics, and so they're shooting.
I just don't know about the shooting from like the bigs, you know, like Obi Toppin. I mean, Julius Randle obviously shot 39% last year, 40%. Mitchell Robinson, he tricked us, man. He's looking like KD in the offseason, but in the season he's just setting screens. Nerlens Noel can't shoot. Kevin Knox, oh man, he's a bust.
Is Kevin is Nitty still on this team? I don't remember.
No, I think he's still a free agent.
Frank Nitty?
Yeah, no one picked him up.
That's tough. I mean, again,
you can go small with Julius at the 5 if you really want a shooting lineup.
Yeah.
But who slots in at the 4? Do you move Fournier? I mean, you could put Alec Burks there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But then the defense kind of.
It's very balanced. Again, like I really do like this team. Kemba Walker is gonna average. What do you think he's gonna average? I think he's gonna average like 25.
No, I don't think so.
25? Is that too high? 20?
I don't know.
20. He'll be 20. I just don't know what.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
It'll be 20. I'm still kind of in the Kemba Walker trap. I've always kind of liked Kemba. Like my dad hates Kemba. Like he thinks he's ass. But I've always been like, Kemba's nice. Kemba's nice. I mean,
he smiles when he loses. So.
Yeah. He's like, what kind of lunatic laughs and smiles after the end of the playoffs?
Kemba averaged 19 on a down year last year, so I mean maybe 2023 is in the realm.
He's in the realm. He's gonna be starting. The question is health for him. Obviously, the knees hurt. But the good thing is with Kemba added in, it gives R.J. Barrett a better role, I believe, because now he can be the second ball handler on the team, and so it'll allow him to play off the ball, which I think he plays better. It'll keep him engaged for catch and shoots, which is something that he shot 40% from 3 last year on 4 attempts, which is pretty good. So he'll have that available with Kemba that's able to run off Mitchell Robinson screens when those are really good screens.
Who knows, man? I mean, guy hasn't been healthy. We'll see.
The
Nerlens Noel helps them.
Nerlens Noel, he's always been a pretty good backup center, and now he'll have another opportunity, and I think he'll do work in the playoffs, because this is definitely a playoff team. Probably, maybe. I think so. And then Fournier is another shooter. Julius Randle's going to do his thing during the regular season. My question is, do you think Julius Randle's season last year was a fluke? As most people think it's a fluke.
It's tough.
Because
usually guys, they go off 1 year, but the hard part about being a superstar in the league is, can you do it again, and then again, and then again?
It's all consistency.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe we might dip down to 24, 25 a game, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just touches.
That's going to be a good story. Was Julius Randle's season
a fluke?
Yeah, was that just an outlier year for him?
Yeah,
Will
because
he ever be an all-star again? Because there's definitely been guys like that. They'll go crazy 1 year, make an all-star, and never touch the all-star game.
I believe Julius Randle will do it again. I think his points will dip mainly because of touches, because now you have Kemba, who is now replacing Elfrid Payton, who Elfrid Payton last year only averaged 8 points a game, I believe. Not even then.
Yeah, Fournier.
Or 10. So you're going up more touches to Kemba. Fournier was an upgrade from Bullock. Bullock was just a catch and shoot.
Don't talk about my guy like that.
I know you love Bullock.
Don't talk about my guy like that.
But Fournier can come off screens and get more touches, and he can shoot. He can shoot mid range. Yeah, he can make decisions for you.
He was a killer in the Olympics.
Yeah. So, and then R.J. Barrett, obviously, and then R.J. Barrett again, just catch and shoot, play off the ball. And then Julius Randle, you're going to give him his touches in the low post, high post, just ISOs, and hopefully he goes right this time. And then you have the bench, who most likely would be Derrick Rose, Quickly, Burks, Toppin, and Nerlens Noel. I've never been a big fan of Toppin. I still don't know why they chose him. Because he was the oldest guy.
He's 24,
and isn't Chris Duarte 24 too?
Yeah.
Chris Duarte is miles better than Obi Toppin right now. And so
he's a high flyer.
He's a really high flyer, but that's it.
He did look good from the 3-point line in the summer league, so hopefully that's one thing he improved on, because they need the shooting from that position.
Yeah, they do. They desperately.
You could definitely tell that was a point of emphasis for them. I was watching the Knicks summer league, and they definitely had him shooting a lot. Hey, we're gonna need some 3-point shots out of you.
Yeah, and it's good because if Derrick Rose wants a break, you can always put him Deuce and Quentin, one of those. Do you think they'll get minutes?
Not heavy minutes, maybe what is it called? Situational minutes.
No,
but they're not gonna have a carved out role. No, not yet. Maybe year 2.
I'm ready for the Deuce McBride game.
Unless there's injuries.
Yeah. Derrick Rose's knee comes back.
I think Miles McBride definitely, if there were injuries, he'd get more time over Quentin Grimes.
Yeah, I'm ready for the Deuce McBride game where he drops 35 and everyone goes crazy. I'm ready for that. I'll be waiting for that game, because I love me some Deuce McBride. Quentin Grimes will honestly, I feel like if there's 2 of them that'll get the minutes, for me, I think it's Quentin, even though
he's the spot up shooter, right?
He's the spot up. He shot 40-some%.
I could see him having like a Desmond Bane type of role.
Yeah, and like he can run 2 to 4 for so like if you don't trust Kevin Knox, if you want shooting out there, then you put Quentin at the 4. You could put him at the 4 if Julius Randle is on the bench, and then
we saw it with Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, where he ran 4.
It was a worse team, but man.
Yeah, I mean, and then you had Nerlens Noel and then Taj Gibson, who will always give you good rebounding minutes, as well. So I mean, I really like this team. If there's like one player, I mean, all these players I will assume will get minutes at one point, like a good amount of minutes, like a good 5 minutes a game, like because
I think Jericho Sims going to G League.
Really? Because I think Thibodeau has never been like non-rookie playable. Like he kind of like, that's why Emmanuel Quickly, like, I think it was a different coach, or was it him?
That was him.
It was him, right? Yeah. Gave Emmanuel Quickly the minutes, and look what happened. Now he's like a premier like guy off the bench. So he's gonna try things, for sure. So if there's one player who's not gonna get any playing time, it's probably gonna be Kevin Knox again.
I think they're done with him. They're just gonna let him ride out the rest of his contract. He's out of there.
And he's out of there. Yeah, Kevin Knox had. I don't know why he took him too. Like they took an L in the past like 3 drafts. Yeah. But besides this past draft, that like 3 drafts before, they took in, or 4. They took such an L. I think it was like Obi, Kevin Knox, and then like Frank Nitti. And then like somebody who's not even here anymore. Like
obviously he's not even on the depth chart. So.
Yeah, and then like Barrett and Mitchell Robinson are the only 2 players that they've landed on that are fine. I think even then Mitchell Robinson drafted or was he G League?
I think it was a second-round pick.
Some second-round pick. So like the Knicks, you have a better chance at getting a better player in the second round. But I mean, again, question with this team is health. Can Mitchell Robinson stay healthy? I like Mitchell Robinson. He provided he'll provide the defense that they need, because that was desperately what they needed for the Atlanta Hawks series, because there was just so much. It was either a Trae Young floater or Trae Young to Capella alley-oop.
He has Inspector Gadget arm, so
he does.
He's pretty good as a pick and roll defender.
Insane wingspan. Yeah. So like,
well, who knows if he's the lob threat, because he had like a broken leg or something, right? I think that's what
something with his leg, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see how. Because again, the defensive assignments will change now that Mitchell Robinson is back, because again, with Trae Young's ascendance and like this new rivalry between New York and Atlanta, which I love, there's gonna be more like attention to Trae Young, and so the defensive assignments, the defensive strategy is going to change. And I think if there's one team that has the ability to, it's probably this team. I think they're going to lead the league, or they're going to be the best defensive team again, besides the Lakers, because the Lakers always manage to somehow be the best defensive team. But I think the Knicks are like right there. They're going to be 1 and 2 again, because they're big. I mean, they have a good young like guard that can guard 1 through 3 in RJ Barrett. Julius Randle can come out to the come out to the perimeter every now and then. Mitchell Robinson has shown to hold his own out on the perimeter. But the thing that's not favoring this team is schedule. They have, I think from what I've seen so far, one of the hardest schedules. Like, it's a really tough schedule. Like, they have 3 basically like 2-week, 3-week stretches where like it's just tough. Like, in the beginning of the season, they have from November 21st to December 4th, they have Chicago, the Lakers, Phoenix, Atlanta, Brooklyn, Chicago, Denver. And then you go to the second half of the season after Christmas, and then you have their West Coast trip, which is the Lakers, then Utah, then Denver, then Golden State, then Portland, and then
definitely gonna be tested.
Yeah,
ideally, like coming out of those stretches, like those 7-game stretches, they could probably like only win 2 games.
Yeah, and then you get 1 break on Valentine's Day, which is Oklahoma City, and then you go back basically East Coast to Brooklyn, Miami, Philadelphia twice.
Wow.
and then Phoenix, and then the Clippers.
Wow.
So
the Clippers.
And look at this. They have like 6 nationally televised games. So we're gonna see this stretch nationally from.
I already see the graphic. The Knicks are sliding down the standings,
and then towards the end, like it's really their second half. Like if you were to count, like poor teams, right? Like Detroit, Oklahoma, Toronto, like as quote unquote easy wins. Like I have check marks here on my list as to like marquee matchups that will probably give them hell, and it's like basically the entire page. So like let's see, Detroit, that's 1, Oklahoma, that's 2, Toronto, that's 3, and then San Antonio, that's 4, Charlotte, Minnesota, that's 6, Cleveland 7, Sacramento, Memphis, that's 9, and then Oklahoma City 10, Sacramento 11, Memphis 12, Portland 13, Washington 14, Charlotte, even then I don't even know Charlotte, 15. Detroit 16, Charlotte again 17, Cleveland 18, Orlando 19, Washington 20, Toronto 21. So 21 quote unquote easy wins for out of 60 some games.
Well, they won 41 last year, right? In 72. I mean, it's gonna be tough. So if Julius Randle, a lot of this, rides on him. He was so successful last year. If he has an off year next year. Say he has like a slump middle of the year, because he was just consistently hot last year.
Yeah.
He has a slump anytime during these trips. That's the difference between winning 50 games and winning 42 and going 42 and 40.
Right.
So.
And again with the schedule, I think they'll go 40 wins again.
I think they'll go 45-ish.
Yeah, around there again. I think like 40. I think they'll probably end up with the same record they did last year, just because of schedule. Because this schedule is tough.
Yeah.
And like for them, kind of revamping the team, like they got people back and they got new people. Like it'll be tough. But I mean, they have time until they get to those stretches. Until they get to that first stretch in November, and like the latter week of November, they have a good amount of like challenge and easy to where they at that point they'll mesh fine.
My hot take for the Knicks this year: they start off slow and Thibodeau gets fired. I'm just putting that out there right now.
Really? Even after the success? I mean, kind of success of last year.
I'm just gonna throw that out there right now.
That's crazy.
It's gonna they're gonna start off okay in October, and then they're gonna lose Christmas Day against Atlanta, and then that's when they're gonna start sliding into November, and then breaking news: Coach Thibodeau's been fired. His assistant is the new interim. That's what I see.
Damn. I mean, that Christmas game is going to be really good.
Yeah,
I'm going to be watching that game. But the good thing is that everything's right on Julius, right? But then at the same time, let's say Kemba goes out. Let's say Kemba, starts showing consistent, starts being healthy. He can, at that point, Julius doesn't have to be the guy that much. I mean, he'll still be the guy come playoff time, which he has to be ready for. But Kemba will for sure offer help, and Evan Fournier has shown to be a consistent 17, 18 point per game scorer. So there's going to be help around Julius Randle this time around. It's just that when it comes to the playoffs, are you going to forget how to play basketball again? Is the question. So yeah, please leave down in the comments what you think the ceiling is for this team, what do you think the floor is for this team. Because again, this team is really fun. It just rides on health. I'll be watching them for sure because my guy Deuce.
I'm only watching KP.
The Christmas game?
KP's return.
Oh, KP's return.
That's always fun.
It's just, who the fuck is Tingus Pingus? Yeah. I'll be watching because of Deuce and, of course, my guy, my Lord and Savior, Derrick Rose. So that's why my ankles suck. Because I grew up watching Derrick Rose.
It was just contagious. Transferred through the TV.
Yeah, transferred through the TV. I was 4 and it was like the Monstar thing, but the opposite way. So yeah, this will be fun. So please leave down in the comments what do you think this team's floor is. Do you think there's a playoff team? Do you think they'll get past the first round the first time? Do you think we're gonna get a Atlanta New York rematch, and how you think that's gonna go this time around? So yeah, please look down in the comments and make sure to subscribe. Please subscribe. We're in the middle of this video. Subscribe, please. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So yeah, next team. The Toronto Raptors. Okay, now they are in also this is a rebuild team, obviously.
Definitely, just looking at this, like, if they were going to go for a rebuild, I could see them trading Pascal.
Yes.
Pascal getting traded at the deadline.
He has been in a lot of trade talks, considering...
I think the new core is going to probably be OG, Gary, and Scotty. Yeah. And Precious.
Yeah. I like Gary Trent a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect from this team, especially them being in the East, and there's a lot of good East teams.
Yeah.
They may, like if they go like career years for Fred and career year for Pascal, maybe play-in tournament. Probably like ninth tournament.
Who knows? I mean, I think it could only go up here for Toronto. I mean, the entire year last year they had to play in Florida.
Right, that's true.
That's tough for any player having to relocate, not being able to see family for so long. They're finally back in Toronto next year. Like, just on paper, like, it's a good young team.
Yeah. And a lot of players miss games. Like, Fred last year only played 52. Pascal only played 56. Lowry only played 46. OG only played 43. Gary Trent was traded midseason, and he only played 17. Their highest...
I mean, who knows?
The game count, like, looking at all these games, the highest, the person with the highest games played was Stanley Johnson at 61 games played, and then it was Boucher at 60. So, like, this team wasn't healthy. It was in a new city, and they had relocated.
I mean, just looking at this on paper, say Fred VanVleet were to have a career year.
Yeah.
Like, I think this team could find a way into the play-in spot. Like, not just being like a 14 seed. Like, I think they could make their way in like a 9-10 and then win the play-in and then get in.
I'd love to see
I want to see Scotty Barnes in the playoffs.
Yeah, I miss Toronto in the playoffs. Toronto always. I love Toronto. Toronto. I haven't been to Toronto, but Toronto's like atmosphere in the arena, like every time they're in the playoffs is amazing. Like you could feel it through a TV. I love it. So I would want them to be in a playing game. Can you imagine Toronto in like a winner takes all game like that? That's a crazy sight. So if you look at this team, you have Fred at the 1, Gary Trent at the 2, OG at the 3, Pascal at the 4, and then Precious at the 5, who they traded for when it was a sign and trade for Kyle Lowry. And then at the bench, backup Malachi Flynn, who they like a lot. Goran Dragic, who I don't know.
Future Matt Goran Dragic.
He said he doesn't want to go. He said he doesn't want to play here, but then
they're gonna buy him out here.
They're gonna buy him out.
That's what I mean. Or unless they do something with Ben Simmons, his contract matches with Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah, you see.
So, I don't know, but
I don't think he's playing at all. I don't think he's ever gonna put on Toronto Raptors jersey.
He's gonna look nice in that.
In the Mavs blue. And then, but what's weird to me is that like Scotty went 4th, right? To play him on the bench.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in order to accelerate his development, I think Pascal's gonna get flipped,
right?
For something like maybe a young piece. I don't know who, but I think the Pascal Siakam experiment is done in Toronto.
Which sucks because I like him a lot. I mean,
it's just they got their chip right.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just got old. Like Kyle Lowry's gone. Like all those pieces from that Jonas gone. I mean, who else from that team's gone?
Kawhi.
Everyone from that team's gone.
Yeah, everyone from that championship team is gone.
Fred.
And it's just as Fred, OG, and Pascal, and even then I think OG was injured that entire playoff run. But I mean, Pascal averaged 21. He averaged 21. So we'll see if he gets flipped because he's literally like he was the centerpiece at one point for this. Again, Kawhi was for a year, but then like realistically, Pascal was the guy's centerpiece.
Pascal just came out like out of nowhere.
He did. I mean, he's another G League alumni who like Fred VanVleet, who they took a chance on him, and look what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, this was kind of a down year for him, mainly because of his like poor season in the bubble when everyone was calling him Spinny Pete because all he can do is
Beyblade.
Beyblade when like all he can do is just spin moves. But I mean, I still like Pascal Siakam. I know that he can get flipped for something valuable because I think like it just doesn't make any sense why you took Scottie at 4th just to put him at the bench when you have Pascal Siakam anyway.
I want to see more. I like OG Anunoby.
I do like OG Anunoby too.
Two-way, had a couple nice shots in the bubble. Another year of development. I don't know. I mean, I hope they keep him as like a cornerstone of the franchise because him and Scottie Barnes would be nice.
It would be like defensively, yes.
Yeah.
Like Scottie, you can put him at the 4. Like let's say you flip Siakam for somebody.
Yeah.
You put Scottie at the 4, so now your starting lineup is Fred, Gary, OG, Scottie, who Scottie would basically be another point guard at the 4 with Fred, and then you have like whoever you flip them for. I don't know if you go for a center, but whoever that is, you probably go for a center, maybe. But like I think if you flip Pascal, you want a Thunder type trade where you just get a bunch of picks back for the following seasons because you like Chris Boucher.
Who knows? I actually changed my stance. I think they try to make the playoffs this year. Like
they try?
Let's run it one more time, right? With Pascal, right? And then if it doesn't work out, okay, maybe in the offseason they look to flip it, maybe on draft night, move into the draft, because that's always a realistic possibility. And then that next year, that's when we really see Scottie Barnes kind of take off.
Yeah, because like again, because again, like Pascal just had a down year. If you look at Pascal's
this
stats,
team right here, I mean.
This team here is decent.
I mean, they're just as good as Indiana.
Solid.
I think.
Yeah.
They can compete with Indiana. They compete with the Charlottes. I don't know about Boston, but they can compete with Washington, I think.
Oh, yeah. This team's very solid. It's just that there's a lot of, again, the East is very strong.
Yeah.
And
they're in that weird spot where they're not as bad as Cleveland and Orlando. Like, they're not as good as New York, right?
Yes.
So they're kind of like in that middle pack of
teams.
And
then if we look at their schedule, it's nothing too ridiculous. It's like 3 games of hard teams, and then they get 2 games of easy. Then they get so that it's basically just alternating. I don't see a stretch of them like where like damn like they won't win anything because again this season is literally there's so many good teams that like not everybody can win. They don't even have a crazy, like, West Coast trip. Usually, the teams that I named don't have a crazy West Coast trip. Well, probably this stretch, where they play Phoenix, Denver, the Lakers, and then Clippers, and then the Lakers again, and then Philly, and then Chicago. That's probably the hardest.
That West Coast trip's always how you got to go play Golden State. So you got to break with Sacramento. Then you go down to LA and play the Lakers and Clippers. Then you go to Phoenix.
Yeah, and then you go back home, and then you go to So I mean that's the only stretch. But all these other games are like 2 games.
Are they a 40+ win team this year? Do you think?
Nah.
No.
I think they're 30, but I feel like 30 is enough.
I think ceiling 45 wins, but I could see their floor being 30s.
And for me it's 30s mainly because there's just not enough wins to go around.
Yeah.
And with them having 2 games is hard and then 2 games is easy, sometimes can serve your team you'll be hanging around 500, but then there's always going to be games where you just lose because they just wanted they'll play Detroit and we'll see the Scottie Cade Cunningham and then Cade Cunningham is gonna give them the work and then they just lose. So there's gonna be game the schedule is not at all hard. This schedule is totally doable to go 41-41. Totally. With this team, totally you can go 41-41. Give or take 2 wins, but I don't see if I'm Toronto and I see this schedule with the team I have right now, I am not panicking. I'm not, because not even all I have to worry about is that West Coast trip, but like that's like in March. Yeah. So at that point, we'll see where we're at because like if they're in March, and that'll be about what like you would have played.
That's like
60 games, 55 games.
Yeah, it's like after the All-Star break.
Yeah, you would have played 55 games. So like, let's say if they're under 25 wins, then it's like okay, then we're not making playoffs. Mm-hmm. But if they're over 25, even at that, if they're over 25, then it's like okay,
we got a chance still.
We got a chance still. So again, this team is like this half rebuilding, half like
because then
we're young.
Because if they make that push, right? To try to go to play and they don't, and then you're stuck at like the 13th pick in the lottery.
Yeah.
When you could have just
tanked the whole way
year and get like a top 5 pick.
Yeah, because like now, like let's say, it all depends on that 55 mark because again with that lottery pick, if you do that lottery pick with Siakam, that can get you a lot of trade deals.
Yeah.
Because at that point it's just like okay, like that's it. Like Siakam is a lot of people forget that Siakam's only 26.
Yeah.
And he'll be 27 by the time next season starts. So, and then I think Fred VanVleet is 28.
I know Golden State was interested in Siakam. VanVleet's 27, I think.
27. Gary is like 25. OG's like 25. Like this team's very young, but like you feel like these names have been around forever.
Yeah.
But they're very young, so like they're in a weird spot where they have household names where they're going into their prime. So the question is, do we keep this team and just hope? Because now Toronto has been kind of this, like, a little bit of a hub for free agents. Like, it's a little bit, like, we kind of want to play there. We love Toronto. We love the atmosphere. We love the fans. We love the people. But at the same time, it's just, like, you're going to have to give up one of these 4 players.
Yeah. Ideally.
For somebody.
It's either going to be Pascal or Fred.
Ideally. You're right.
Or both.
Yeah, so, like, again, going back to the Ben Simmons trade, like, let's say you bring in Ben Simmons, like, is Ben Simmons and Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, all 3 of them fit? Because there's no way Daryl Morey wants Siakam. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So they're going to give away Fred and OG probably, or Fred and Gary. And so Ben, Scotty, let's say they give up Fred and Gary for guards. It's Ben, OG, Scotty, Siakam, Precious. That's no shooting. That's horrible.
Malachi Flynn would probably be able to go to the starting lineup.
But like, is Malachi Flynn really the one that's gonna?
If I'm Toronto, I'd ask for like Tyrese Maxey back.
Yeah.
Or like something.
But like again, like they're in this weird spot where like Ben Simmons. This is one of those teams where I think Ben Simmons. That's why I said Toronto was iffy, because Ben Simmons does. For me, if I'm like, what's his name? Ujiri? Mm-hmm. If I'm looking at Ben Simmons, like, this doesn't make any sense for me because for what I have to give up, because again, Ben Simmons, the Sixers are in this weird spot where Daryl wants a guard back because technically Ben is a guard, but then at the same time, whoever's getting Ben back is not a guard because like he can't shoot. Yeah. So like even though he'll fill the quote unquote guard position, he can't shoot. So if you have a very bottom-heavy team, he doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
And this is one of those teams. So, like, it just doesn't work because your focus is Scotty, and Scotty has Ben Simmons qualities.
Yeah.
Where he can make his huge.
I don't know if you want to ruin your top 5 pick off the bat by adding him with a guy that kind of plays similar to him.
Very similar.
But Scotty, you know, he's not reluctant to shoot. He'll shoot the ball.
Yeah, he'll shoot the ball. I truly like him, and it's hard for me right now for this team, like for this team depth, to look at him and be like, I don't know how to put him in the starting lineup without having one of these core guys sitting, because it doesn't make any sense. Why would you pay Siakam crazy money just to have him on the bench now? OG doesn't make sense to have him on the bench. So I don't know if you run Scotty at the 5 at one point. Yeah. You just like fucking try it. But even then, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Probably Scotty does come off the bench, and then he becomes the 6th man off the bench, mm-hmm. and just like he'll go in and he'll play at the 5, at certain times. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this team. They're a rebuilding team, kind of, not really.
Yeah, they're in that gray area where it's like. I don't know. We could make the playoffs. But, I mean, does it benefit us getting outed in the first round? No.
So, like, again, at the 55 game mark, if they're under 25 and you're going into that West Coast trip, just you're done. Like, I think you just develop Scotty for the last 30 games, 30-some games.
Or I think they should measure it at the trade deadline.
The trade deadline is it's after Christmas, and it's in February, so that'll be about 45 games. So 10 games less.
It's like I mean, at that point, like, you definitely have a good feel for the team you are, and at that point, then they'd probably make the decision okay, well, we're not going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they make a move trade deadline, though.
No? You don't think they move a Pascal?
No, I don't think they move trade deadline because I think it'll be smarter and better to, okay, you're looking at the team at 45-some wins. 45-some games. And you go lottery. And then you do lottery pick with Siakam. I think that'll be more enticing to people considering, again, Siakam's only 26. And if he does, in that time, have a good year where he's averaging where his best year was, I think, 2021 was his best year. And he does do it again at 21, 22, 23. With that lottery pick, that'll be very enticing for people. That allows you to put Scotty in the starting lineup for the following season and find more pieces that can help you transform this team into another championship team.
I mean, it's always hard to evaluate. I want to see what they look like on the floor with Scotty coming off the bench. I can't wait to see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I'd be able to make an easier call. But
yeah.
Right now, it's just hard. Just looking at a depth chart, because with the East being so good and just the talent in the league being good, someone has to lose. So, I mean, should be an exciting team. I'll definitely tune in to watch Scotty and see what he does.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about, there's a reason to watch every team this year. I think
I'm not watching Sacramento. I'm not watching Utah.
You don't want to watch Davion Mitchell?
No.
You don't want to watch Donovan Mitchell?
I don't want to watch him.
Oh.
25, bro.
Why,
year, I don't want to watch
You know what?
him.
You're right. Why would I want to watch Dallas? Why would I want to watch...
Because there's a Hall of Famer on the court.
Why would I want to watch Dorian Finney-Smith?
Oh.
Nah. Why would I want to watch...
No, you saw Dorian Finney-Smith hype place compilation. I know you saw it. I showed you.
No, all I saw was Dwight Powell shooting threes.
Hey, and that's all part of the experience.
You fucking idiot. You fell for the Dwight Powell pump fake.
That's all part of the Dallas Mavs experience.
We were watching it and somebody actually fell for the Dwight Powell pump fake.
Hey. Dwight Powell could shoot 50% from three. He just doesn't want to.
No. And then after this pod was a different corner, you're like, I fucking hate Dwight Powell.
He does. Hey, he could, but he just doesn't want to. I mean, the league would be fucked if he could.
The league would be fucked. Please leave down in the comments. What do you think about this Raptors team? Do you think Scotty Barnes is a Rookie of the Year candidate? What do you think he'll do being a sixth man? Do you think he starts? I think all of this revolves around Scotty, honestly, because he's the fourth. He was the fourth pick. You didn't pick him to be on the bench for the next 2 years, 3 years. So, please leave down in the comments what you think.
Watch them run Scotty Barnes at the 1 and Fred VanVleet's your 6 man.
Maybe, I don't know. Fred VanVleet used to be a 6 man.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of different approaches you can take that literally all revolve around Scotty. So, leave down in the comments and subscribe. Also, that'll be nice. Next team, last team, the Boston Celtics. I don't know what to say about this team because they have been kind of underwhelming for the last 3 years.
I think Marcus Smart starts at the 1 and Jay Rich starts at the 2. And then they let Schroeder be a 6 man because you know how lethal he was in OKC.
Nah, I know, you know how he is.
He can't be a starter, bro.
He's mental.
He can't be a starter, bro.
He's mental.
He can't be a starter.
But you know how he is.
Nah,
he bettered himself, lost $90 million.
Someone's going to have to tell him, hey, man, you could be one of the premier 6 men in NBA history. And you'll get yours. Trust me, you're going to get yours. So don't worry about starting. You're going to get the same minutes as Marcus Smart. well, we just need you to come in and be our guy for our bench unit.
I've been saying that. I'm telling you, the Lakers would have won the Phoenix series or would have been a way better team if Dennis Schroeder started at coming off the bench.
Yeah.
If he was coming off the bench, that Lakers team is scary. But he decided to be an idiot.
AD was saying he didn't like his entry passes.
No.
I mean, I could understand.
He didn't like his entry passes.
He said...
What the fuck?
That's what he said. He wasn't very fond of the passes he was getting. I swear... You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that shit.
Yeah, they said... Yeah, AD wasn't very fond with the entry passes that Dennis was giving him in the post. I was like, damn, I never really realized that was part of the chemistry issue.
Yeah, I know, is that a chemistry? Like, what? Anthony Davis didn't even have enough fucking playing time.
I don't know. That's what they said. That's what Phil Handy said. I don't know.
What? So you think okay, we're gonna be in like by Christmas and Jason Tatum's gonna come out and be like, I don't like Dennis Schroeder's post passes.
Any Celtics fans listening right now, I know you guys are excited about the idea of Josh Richardson. You're excited about the idea. Don't get your hopes up. Just don't. I'm a recovering Josh Richardson stan.
Yeah.
For the brief time he was in Dallas. Man, he got me excited when he could get traded. The dogs are on their way, he told me. That's what he promised. The dogs were on the way. We didn't get no dogs, man. We didn't get no dogs on our team. I'll tell you, we didn't get a dog.
Got fucking Chihuahua.
Yeah, the only thing he was good for is his free throws. But,
oh yeah, it was consistent free throw shooter.
Couldn't defend as advertised.
Couldn't shoot threes
as advertised. Couldn't finish at the rim as advertised. So maybe the bench role serves him here on the Celtics. Maybe he's just better on Eastern Conference teams.
Maybe.
I don't know. But.
I have him starting for the reason being.
I mean, it'd be a nice line him next to Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I mean, Dennis Schroeder needs to start because Boston needs a starting guard. That's the only reason why I have him starting. I don't think Peyton Pritchard is ready. I don't think Chris Dunn has ever been ready. I don't think Romeo Langford, and I didn't put Carson Edwards. But Carson Edwards...
He got traded, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, Carson Edwards got traded.
Oh, damn. Well, anyway. Okay, so Carson Edwards not traded, so it doesn't matter. But these guards are not ready. I don't think Peyton Pritchard is a... Yet.
Who knows?
Who knows? But Peyton Pritchard is...
Dropped about 94.
What?
94.
Oh, 94 on Pro-Am. Fucking Pro-Am. I don't know if he's ready, so I think Dennis Schroeder at this point, it's just like... You just have to go with him. I think you just have to. And then like this starting lineup is fun. I kind of like it. I mean, Dennis Schroeder, Smart. You got two.
Watch, they're gonna start Al Horford.
Oh, they're probably gonna start Al Horford, but I like Time Lord.
I wouldn't mind starting Al Horford. It gives you another shooter. You could run 5 out. Let Jaylen Brown.
But what about Time Lord?
Oh, yeah, you mean he's the vertical threat off the bench.
The best nickname in the NBA.
Oh, throws it up to the Time Lord. Time Lord. I never forget the first. I was like, did I hear that right? Yeah. I was like, why did they call him that?
I still don't know why they call him that.
Apparently, they call him that because as a rookie, he was always late to like the planes and like team meetings. So like I guess they call him the Time Lord.
So like, they just joke around.
Yeah, like you're a Time Lord, bro. You're never earlier on time. What? I don't know, but I mean. I'm having fantasies about Al Horford starting and seeing just Jaylen Brown attack off the bounce and a 5 out, getting to the rim. Same thing with Jason Tatum, letting him get room to operate. I mean, Marcus Smart's a great shooter. Schroeder can shoot the ball.
Sure he can shoot.
Horford can shoot the ball. I mean, defensively, Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Tatum. I mean, at the 2, 3, and 4, that's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That Schroeder and Smart will pick up your guards 94 feet.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown is an incredible, very underrated two-way.
Yeah, 6'7", man.
Jason Tatum is starting to get to two-way, and then you have the 5 spot, which is a spot that'll be situational. As to where, like, okay, if you're starting Al Horford, then you're going for shooting. If you're going for vertical, you're going for Robert Williams. So I think if you have...
They'll play an even amount, those two.
They'll play a very even amount, considering that, like, they're very... Like, they're really big bodies. It just depends, do you want shooting at that point, or do you not want shooting? And then when you come up with Jokic and Embiid, and Vucevic, those, like, strong centers... I think in my I think you run Al Horford at that point.
Yeah. Ennis Cantor can't guard those.
Ennis Cantor cannot guard those guys. so I have Ennis Cantor at the 4.
He's a 5.
He's a 5, but I have him at the 4 because
I think he can play 5. He gets cooked. He can't play defense. He's a great rebounder. I'll give him that. But
oh yeah, he killed you fantasy.
Yeah, I won't talk about it. But
yeah. 2020 Will Chamberlain right there.
Ennis Chamberlain.
Ennis Chamberlain
can't guard, but
no,
he's a rebounding gobbler.
Yeah. What do you think about this the second unit? Like, let's say if Al Horford starts, then you have Robert Williams. What do you think about the second unit?
Yeah, I mean Peyton Pritchard. Hopefully he makes the jump. He was pretty solid his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Richardson, if he could shoot like they say he could shoot, like the dog I was promised.
Yeah.
Solid. I mean, solid two-way player. Aaron Nesmith, knockdown shooter. Grant Williams. He's a small forward, right? He's like 6'7".
Yeah, but he played the 4 most of the season last year.
I mean, Peyton Pritchard, Robert Williams, pick and roll.
That would be nasty.
And then Jabari Parker, I know he's a wash, but he's still a big body they could throw out there and play defense.
He played well when they played
the
Brooklyn.
Guy has no knees.
No.
There's some guys who've revitalized their careers.
Yeah, it's so funny. They're still, you know how like in New York, like Kevin Knox is somebody they keep around just like for no reason.
Yeah.
Like they feel like everybody knows they've given up on him, but at the same time, like you just keep him around.
Like, ooh, Jabari Parker, he was a second overall pick.
Yeah, and the same thing is happening with like Romeo Langford. I feel like Romeo Langford is just like new Kevin Knox, where like Boston's just keeping him around for no reason.
He'll never have a role in the team.
And no, he's just keeping him around, but like Celtics fans love him.
Yeah.
And because they follow him and they follow like.
He went to Wisconsin, right?
Nah. He went to he went to kind of like he went to one of those not Midwest, those like that Indiana area type school. I think. But I think this is like the same thing where it's just like a Kevin Knox type thing, where like they just keep him around, but like Celtics fans fucking love him for some reason. So yeah, I don't think he'll play.
No.
I don't think Chris Dunn will play, or maybe I don't know. I don't know what happened to Chris Dunn. I remember when Chicago picked him.
Yeah, he was.
And he was like this.
He was like a 10th overall pick or something.
Yeah, and he was this like two-way guard that like
never panned out.
So I don't know what happened.
He offers like good, depth as another point guard defender. And I'm pretty sure he'll play situational minutes if anyone gets injured. I like Aaron Nesmith though.
Yeah, and I mean
he's gonna be important.
Yeah, and this team is like middle of the pack team that you can get like.
Even though they had Tatum and Brown.
Yeah, just middle of the pack. Like if we look at their stats from last year, 16th in points per game, 11th in opponent points per game. Fuck, I have fucking dyslexia right now. Offensive rating 10th, defensive rating 14th, net rating 13th. I mean, they're middle, like they're right in the middle of the pack as for they're just an average team from these stats, which doesn't make any sense.
They shouldn't be with who they have on the roster.
No, but I feel like it'll be the same thing. Basketball Reference has them expected win-loss last year had them 39-33 and then I'm going 36-36. So
very average.
Which is very average, which is literally again 500, and they finished 7th last year, winning the play-in tournament and then losing to Brooklyn in the first round. I think the same thing will happen. I think they'll go 41-41. Like I don't doubt if it's like
a supercharged Jason Tatum.
Oh yeah,
puts the team on his back for Kobe.
You know he's like he's like 100 overall when he gets a fresh cut.
And when he wears the purple elbow band.
The purple elbow band, and when you get a fresh cut. So, we'll see how it goes with them again, because again it's always like Jason Tatum's a star, Jaylen Brown's a star. Jaylen Brown's coming back after a broken wrist. So again, it's health. It's like, can Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum carry the load? Which I mean, they've shown to do.
What does Schroeder add? Does he continue being playing poor like last year, or does he play great and then gets paid next offseason.
I don't know. I think he's just money. This guy's a money hungry.
He's gonna have a career year. Watch. He's gonna try to recoup his losses.
That's what I think. I think he's gonna have he's one of the redemption players.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like, it's hard to gauge his stats considering, like, again, it's the same thing with Ben Simmons. Like, that's the thing, like, that's so hard about these players because, like, you look back literally the year before this past year, he was on the Thunder, and he was playing with Chris Paul and Shea on like a 3-guard set basically, but he was coming off the bench.
Yeah.
He was 6-man runner-up twice. He won it once, I believe.
Yeah.
Did he? Yeah, he won it once and then like came up short twice, I believe. So, and like you think like, okay, yeah, this guy's like amazing, and like usually some 6 men do take the jump to starting role, but with him, it just made it so much worse that with him first year starting in meaningful games, meaningful time.
Some guys just aren't starters.
You're just not like, starters.
It's okay to take advantage. Like,
yeah.
Of the other team's second unit. It's like you're valuable for that. Lou Will's made a career off of it.
Exactly.
You can too, Dennis.
Yeah, and like again, it might have also been the Laker thing too.
Maybe.
Because same thing happened with Harrell.
Yeah.
And he also wanted to start too. So like once I guess you're in a big market team, like you just want to get as much attention as you can to get the big money.
Yeah.
Later on that next offseason or something. So I think maybe it was the whole LA thing. Maybe it's his own thing that like I believe I'm worth it. But again, like I always thought he was a great 6-man. He was a great like there's certain guys like Lou Will, as you said, is just one of those guys that made a career and then now he's lived it. He's fine. They're thinking of naming the fucking trophy after him anyway.
Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson is now coming here, and I fucking love Jordan Clarkson. Tim Hardaway has been a starter, but like
he really found himself as a 6-man.
He found himself as a 6-man.
Minutes.
Yeah, so those are just prime examples of like.
Just because your name's not getting announced at the start of the night, like
doesn't mean
you
anything.
can still have like the biggest impact on the game.
Yeah, and at the end of the game,
because bench units are the ones who pretty much win games. Like, if your bench unit outscored theirs, you're gonna win the game more often than not.
Exactly, and then like at the end of the game, usually how it works, especially in a close game, if you're giving him buckets off the bench, you're staying for that fourth quarter for the last 6 minutes.
Close out Tim Hardaway closed out fourth quarter.
Yeah, he always closes out, and so like it's just again it depends of like. Because if he has another down year this year, I just don't see where he recovers at any point. Like, you just have to go to the 6-man. I think he has to, like, just come out the ego of his, like, of it, and then just, like, you're staying 6-man. But this system that they'll play will work. I mean, Dennis Schroeder, like, Kemba averaged, 20 last year? Dennis Schroeder probably averaged the same.
He averaged 13 last year.
Schroeder?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, yeah, so, I think it would do 20 maybe, 20, 15 to 20 around there.
My bad, averaged 15 last year.
Okay, so yeah.
And then with OKC it was at 19, my bad, 15, 18, and 19, yeah, my bad.
Okay, so yeah, see, that was when he was coming off the bench.
Yeah.
19, so like, him now starting with a new team, I don't know, maybe Brad Stevens, again, new coach.
He played only 3 minutes less as a 6-man than when he did with the Lakers. He was at 32 last year. When he was with OKC, he was at 29 and 30. So, I mean, it's like...
You're starting, but you got less minutes.
Maybe it was the Laker effect.
I think it was maybe the Laker effect. But, and then, like, it just his own head, like he lost $90 million. Like that's still the biggest L I've seen anybody take in the NBA when it comes to contracts. So we'll see how the system works because I think he can average a good 18 on a really good year, 18, 19. The system would be very similar to what they ran last year, but again, like there's like always been this big question of like system change, but I think that was only when Brad Stevens was the coach. But now you have Ime Udoka, who like
first year coach.
First year coach, it's going to be a whole entire system because I think Brad Stevens respects him, so he won't be like all on top of him like Mark Cuban is or somebody else that like is like really heavy on the coaching aspect. So I think Udoka will provide like a more Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum centric to where like they both there's like 4 ball handlers on the floor that can create, and so it's just like a lot of movement, and they won't. I don't think they'll be middle of the pack in pace this year.
I think they're gonna be top 10 in defense. Mm-hmm. They have the potential to be top 10 in offense too.
Yeah,
but we'll see how that works out. And then net rating, probably top. I mean, they have the tools and like the players and everything. It's just putting it together.
Yeah, it's just putting it together, and it's just what system works. But I trust Udoka. I really do respect him as a coach. Celtics have like an okay schedule. I think it's totally again. There's so many good teams that like somebody has to lose. So,
I think they're a playoff team.
Yeah, I think they're playing. I think honestly they're a playing team.
I think they get the 6th spot.
I think their schedule is as hard or like.
I like them more than Indiana. I like them more than Charlotte.
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah.
Who else? I like them over?
Indiana, Charlotte, Toronto.
They can compete with the Knicks.
They could. Just based on a ceiling. Yeah. But I think like they have a very similar schedule to the Knicks, where in terms of difficulty because. Again, New York has that week stretch or 2-week stretch of like really hard teams. Boston at that almost exact point of the year have the same thing. So they face Wednesday, December 1st, Philadelphia, and then December 3rd, Utah, the 4th, Portland, the 7th, Lakers, the 8th, the Clippers, and then the 10th, Phoenix, then the 13th, Milwaukee, then the 17th, Golden State, then the 18th, New York, and then the 20th, Philadelphia. Like, that is the toughest stretch that I think from all of these. Like, it's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games.
It's going to be a make or break.
An entire month.
Make or break stretch for them.
Yeah, right before Christmas, and then you have another kind of stretch from February 8th through the 24th. So Brooklyn, Denver, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit, Brooklyn, Detroit, Indiana, and then Atlanta. That's kind of a tough stretch. So like I think somebody has to lose again.
I think they're a playoff team.
Like 6th seed, like barely over the play-in tournament.
Like they could be anywhere from 5 through 6, 4 through 6. I mean, we'll see. The season's gonna be like it's kind of like anybody. Well, you have the upper echelon teams,
Brooklyn,
Nets,
Milwaukee,
yeah, Miami. And then from like 3 or 4 through like
4 through like 10.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of fluid, you know.
It's very fluid.
Like one team, one injury, that's it.
That is true. Yeah.
One
breakout season,
or one rough patch in the schedule, you lose 4 in a row. Oh well, too bad. Now you're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, because again, like the
Knicks, right? You said they had
the Knicks had a really tough schedule. The Celtics have a tough schedule. From these 5 teams we've been looking at. So again, it's just how did Adam Silver treat you? Making the schedule is also going to hinge on this. But yeah, I think this rides totally on Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Obviously, like it just doesn't. But I mean, X factor here is Schroeder. Depending, however, how far he goes, this team goes, I believe. As to like, it'll be extra help, and so there's just not much that can be said about this team until Dennis Schroeder proves himself to be a starting guard in this league, basically. But yeah, now we can come to a conclusion of this Atlantic Division GM overview, and I believe we are halfway through these GM overviews.
We're done with the East.
We're done with the East because now this is 15 teams already we covered.
Yeah.
You guys have shown love to a lot of these videos. Very certain videos though, which is kind of surprising. There are some videos where
Detroit's our best video.
Yeah, Detroit's our best video, which we thank you for that. But like we're seeing other teams that like we thought like we're like, yeah, this would be a good one. We put it up, it's only like under 10. And then like we have teams that like no way, right? And then they get 30.
Yeah.
But
the algorithm works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, but that just goes to show again the YouTube algorithm And also, like, the fans out there that are listening to us, they're just, like, are fans that, like, usually of teams that don't get covered.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we got you guys. Like, that's what we do. We want to cover every team. We don't want to just cover media darling teams. We want to cover everybody because, like, everybody, we do have an opinion on everybody. Me and Miles do love looking at looking at rosters, looking at how we can shake up the roster, because that's what we do. We want to be.
It's always fun seeing who's like the next guy to break out.
Yeah, we want to be different.
So.
We want to be different. We want to show you guys that like our knowledge goes further than just the hotspot teams, because like the other teams show love. We gotta show love. So yeah, please again subscribe. Please leave a like and turn on that notification bell so that way you know every time when a video goes live. So yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.